Thank you very much, D-Man. And well, Young Buck, you said it as well. They need to go pick some stronger champions. And Trevor said, you know, if they're going to keep playing that pickup, it might not work out. Did you see anything that you found better than in the last draft from Millenium, or was it the same story over again?
Well, this time they at least got the Analyst. However, Supa Hot Crew shows exactly how you play purple. You give the blue side one strong champion, and you just change it for two very strong champions. In this case, it was Kog'Maw and Morgana, two champions that are their best at their own roles. And from there on, the trade was so good that they could win the game from that alone.
Yeah, I just feel the Kassadin for Kerp is not his champion. I believe that's the second time we've seen him running it, second time he's lost with it. And I just don't see the same level of impact on Kassadin with that player in contrast to many others. I think the Zillion ban that Supa Hot Crew are putting in both of their games is very, very important because it fits Millennium's playstyle, it suits the way they want to play. And as soon as you take that off the table, Kerp is really struggling to find something relevant in 4.13.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of more of a Kassadin curse, because lately when we've seen it picked, it's been more to bring out a strategy and pick some other things coming in for them as well. Young Buck, Zach coming in here. We haven't seen him in a while, and you were actually saying that you talked to Mimer about that pick and that he had it in his head to play it out.
Yeah, last night he wanted to train against me and he said, I want to play Zac into Alistar, so I was like, okay, let's bring it. And it did work for him. I think that in general you beat Alistar by picking something that doesn't have mana and has sustain, so Zac is definitely a great champion. Mundo will also work, and you just saw how much Mimer brought to the team fights.
Yeah, and then going in this game, Supa Hot Crew clearly off a confidence boost after that game one, because they just went very hard in the beginning with that perfectly executed dive bottom lane. And Impaler, who was lacking, let's say, in the games in the playoffs, here he did step it up.
Oh yes, I agree. I definitely think Impaler's found some comfort on Elise, doing very well in both of the games that he's played. And you are right, Impaler really struggled in the quarterfinals, but the whole team really struggled. I think everybody stepped up. This game was a slow strain. I mean, Supa Hot Crew got ahead, and they just very, very slowly crept and strangled the life out of Millenium. From very early on in the game, it was clear that Supa Hot Crew was executing better, was playing their comp effectively, and there was very little chance for Millenium actually to come back into it. Yeah,
let's actually take a look at a team fight where Supa Hot Crew played out their comp. Let's get that up on the screen.
So it is fairly early on into the game, but I really just want to highlight how far ahead Supa Hot Crew are at this point. They've got a tower, they've got nearly 3,000 gold lead, they're already 3 kills to 0. Roll the clip out, and you'll notice Selfie, we don't know if this was bait or if this was him out of position, but as the top laners are about to teleport in here, Young Buck, what was your take on this engage and everybody getting thrown in?
Well, the biggest thing is that Millenium was expecting a 2 versus 1 on the rise. However, Impaler was ready to react to that, and they immediately took out the Lee Sin. From there on, it's a 5 versus 4, and they just take it from there.
Yeah, I really like the way Mr. Royals also lands all of his living artilleries. Supa Hot Crew just surround Millenium, and Mimer rather even gets away with his life thanks to that passive. So just really strong game. It also led to the Dragon a few seconds later. So what was nearly a 3,000 gold lead became about a 4,500 gold lead at 10 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, very impressive. And what we always say of the Supa Hot Crew is once they get rolling, they can become this very good team because their skill ceiling is very high. So on the side of Millenium, you already said maybe they just have to try something different. They didn't. Stalling strategy, maybe?
I kind of feel like Millenium are not really on the same page when it comes to understanding the patch and the playstyle. Yes, they got that Alistair top lane, but it didn't really work out for them. The Kassadin Corki combo. Kassadin is like super mid to late game. Corki is like early to mid game. Alistair needs to get Trinity Force and tank items. It just kind of felt like the comp was a little disjointed. And Millenium are really struggling this series.
What are your thoughts?
I would like to see Millenium copy Supa Hot Crew's pick phase. Just give away the Alistar, change it for trade it for Kog'Maw and Morgana, and I would also like to see the Mundo ban changed into an Elise ban, because Impaler has been really strong on it, and they seem to really like the long, catchy champions, long range.
I want to ask a quick question. As somebody who's been on a stage like this in similar situations, if you're 0-2 down, what's the mindset like in Millenium's head?
It can be very difficult to deal with, especially after such a devastating loss. The first game, you could say, okay, guys, we just barely lost. It was still a close game. We can come back. But after a game like this, it takes a lot of hearts to come back.
Well, they have come back before, so we will see what they can do. We need to step off the rim.